Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 2 of the series. If you're new here, please make sure to check out episode 0 to have a better idea of what's this all about. But without further ado, let's get started. Today, we'll be talking about purpose, vitality, speculative self-talk, and the Japanese formula for life satisfaction, which is the Ikigai, and hopefully I've said this right. Finding your purpose is not actually a destination as much as it's a lifelong journey of trial and error. And it's okay if it's going to take you a long time. Everyone takes some time to figure out who they are and what their purpose in life is. Recalling our last episode's topic, when we have agreed to create a list of interests and getting busy trying each until you have found what your heart rhymes with. For this episode, I would love for you guys to dig deeper within yourselves by creating 4 more lists. Each of those would have a specific question and you would have answers to each accordingly. But to make this easier, you can just screenshot the questions that are going to pop up on the screen and take your time answering them later. For the first question, what is your personality type? If you're not sure what is your personality type, then you can take the 16 personalities test, which is available in both Arabic and English. I will link it below in the description box if you're watching over YouTube, or you will find it in the comments section below if you're watching this over Facebook. For the second question, what set of skills do you have? And rate yourself based on how good you are at each on a scale of 1 to 10. The third question, what are your core values in life? And then for the last question, your finalized list of interests. Now that you have answers to each list, go even deeper and ask yourself questions like, how's your energy like? Are you an introvert or an extrovert? Then go through the ways and methods that you collect new information. Are you the sensing type or the intuitive type? And ask yourself, how is your lifestyle like? Are you the judging type or the perceiving type? Finally, ask yourself, how do you make decisions? And this one is very important. Is it more towards facts and thoughts, or are you more following your feelings and your gut instinct? Once you have answers to all of these questions, write them down in a clean and new paper and set them aside. Start creating another list with your top 5 strength points. If you're not sure what are your strength points, you can take the free version of the Holland's RISEX test, and you'll find a link for it in the description below if you're watching over YouTube, or again, if you're watching over Facebook, you'll find it in the comment section below. Now, once you have finished everything, you have taken all the exercises, take a look at what you have now written down on paper. You realize that you have just created a clear visual or a mind map of yourself and your character and who you are. So, now that you have everything done, what's the next step gonna be? The next step is taking a look at your mind map and trying to connect everything together to find your Ikigai within. But first, what is Ikigai? So over the past 20 years, there has been a switch in Japan towards more awareness and the freedom to choose one's desired role. So remember, job hopping was once considered a taboo, but right now is actually gaining more acceptance. So the true meaning of Ikigai is not just doing your job with complete dedication and losing your work-life balance, but it is the freedom to choose what you really love and move towards the same. Ikigai without the freedom to choose would just be another story told to people to exploit and deceive them. Okay, Taz, so what is Ikigai after all? Well, the point that I'm trying to make is that when we graduate, we often find ourselves stuck and torn between 4 routes, either doing what we love, doing something that we're good at, doing something that pays us well, or doing something meaningful that the world needs. Well, the answer is that your Ikigai lies in the middle of the 4 routes. Ikigai can be summed as things that we live for or a reason for being. Remember the 4 routes we just mentioned? These are the routes that we would have to choose from. And what lies in the middle is what connects them together for your satisfaction. But here's a better visualizations to have a clearer idea of each. Just to sum it up, the 4 routes basically and simply symbolizes your passion, profession, vocation, and your mission. According to the existential psychologist Rollo May, he says that depression is the inability to construct a future, and anxiety comes from not being able to know the world you're in and not being able to orient yourself in your own existence. So finding your purpose comes from bringing your core values into your everyday life. It gives you meaning and reasons for doing the jobs and the things you do. Now, moving on to living with purpose and vitality, you would only need to follow those 5 simple steps. Step number 1, let go of the idea of how your life is supposed to be. So you'd have to change your strategy a little bit, even if that means you would have to face the unknown. Step number 2, embrace your struggles and use them as a fuel for the new life that you're seeking for. Step number 3, stop the autopilot mode and be aware and present in every action you're doing. Step number 4, be smart about your financials. Also, try to invest more in experiences and less on material things. Step number 5, reconnect with nature, meaning that from time to time, try to take a break and look at your natural surroundings. It would help you to reconnect with your soul, mind, and body. And you'd be surprised that that natural connection would ignite and spark creativity within you. And as Vince Lombardi once said, that success demands a singleness of purpose. Well, unchecked self-talk can easily turn into self-delusion. The stories we create almost always make you look like the good guy and cannot be termed as objective, where you could actually be doing something wrong that's hindering you from doing what you love. So you kind of don't have a clear and honest vision of who you are. But to get out of this rut, just make sure to note down the facts of the situation, and that would make the story less according to your gut instinct and more towards the objective reality. The last part is very important, especially when it comes to staying true to yourself. And staying true to yourself just makes everything easier. Unfortunately, our episode comes to an end, but I would love to share with you guys a short film. It's called Who Are You? That I found very inspirational. Please let me know, how did you find the video? Did it affect you? Did it inspire you? And maybe you can discuss it all together in a live video at the end of the series. So until then, stay tuned, stay safe, and I'll see you next week. Love, Taz.